All right, so again, this will be done like your review. I think there's 4 different sections in it. Like this is obviously your conics. And then there's a section review for the systems of equations, a review for the trig stuff, and a review for what we just finished, the series and sequence, okay? So they'll be chunked up. So this is just conics, okay? So we'll focus on today for that, and then we'll kind of go through each part. It would be fantastic, obviously, like I said, even if you, which I'll have your test graded today, and then you should kind of know from there whether you're going to be taking this final or not. But it would be good for you to review either way, okay? What we have learned is that you guys tend to cram and you remember things for like, I don't know, day of test, day before test maybe, and then it's like your brain gets wiped fresh after that, and it's like restarting everything. And all of these topics you are going to see next year in pre-calc, every single one of them. So not only is it good to review in case you have to take this final, but it's also good to review for standardized tests and for next year, okay? So this is your conics. I'll just like on the top where each of the new conics starts, I'll write like the formulas and stuff you need to know. This starts with parabolas. So the parabolas, there are 2. They can either face up and down or right and left. If it's an x squared, or actually I'll start with the y squared. So y minus k squared equals 4px minus h. That hk can be 0, 0. That would mean your vertex at 0, 0. If it's a positive 4p, this opens to the right. If it's a negative 4p, it opens to the left. Your hk is your vertex. And the p is the distance from the vertex to the focus, which is a coordinate point, and also from the vertex to the directrix, which in this case is a vertical line. So it would be an x equals. So if I was to graph a parabola, I don't know, say it's here, it faces this way, then my focus would be inside. And if that's 1 unit away, then the directrix is also 1 unit away. The parabola curls around the focus and away from the directrix. Then comes your parabolas that are vertical. So this is your x minus h squared equals 4py minus k. If it's a positive 4p, it opens up. And if it's a negative 4p, it opens down. Everything else is the same. The hk is the vertex. The p is the distance from the vertex to the focus or the vertex to the directrix. Difference here is that, let's say you're pointing up this time. The focus is inside. Again, that would be a coordinate point. And if that's 1 unit away, then the directrix is the same distance in the other direction. And this would be a y equals. So there's 2 different types of questions on the parabolas. One like these, where you're given an equation and you've got to pull information out of it. And then the other is your, like, when we get to here, like question 5 starts the second type, which is here's information about your parabola, give me the equation. So for those, remember, I suggest you always give yourself a little drawing, draw out what you know about it, figure out which direction it faces, and then plot those points, and then from there you should be able to get to your equation by working backwards. Questions on parabolas before we get into ellipses? Okay. All right, number 9. So we're on page 6. Number 9 starts the ellipses. There are 2 types of ellipse: horizontal, where it is wider than it is tall, and vertical, where it is taller than it is wide. So this is your oval-shaped conic. Horizontal, the X gets the A. A is the bigger denominator. So order doesn't matter with ellipses because it's a plus, but A is bigger. So if it's under the X, this is going to be wider than it is tall. We would plot the center. We would go right and left A, up and down B, and then draw the ellipse. Your C squared equals A squared minus B squared for an ellipse, and the C is the distance from the center to the focus. So A equals center to vertices. B, center to covertices. C, center to foci. And then if it's a vertical ellipse, the Y gets the A. So again, order doesn't matter. I could still have X first, but this is going to go over the B squared. And this would be taller than it is wide. Okay, and then just like with the parabola, there's going to be 2 different kinds. One like this. Well, first of all, this one you'd have to divide everything by 64 because remember it has to equal 1, okay? But ones like these where you get given information about or the equation first, and then from there you're going to find your graph. Remember that your major axis is 2A and your minor axis is 2B. I think one of the questions asked for the length. Or something like 14 is where it starts, where you're going to get given information about your graph, and then you're looking for the equation of the ellipse. Okay, so both directions, just like the parabolas. Questions on ellipses. Okay, and then came hyperbolas. All right, so hyperbolas again, there's two different kinds. There's your vertical and there's your horizontal. This time, so vertical, actually, I'll go in order like I've been doing. Horizontal first. And for these, the x comes first. X minus h squared over a squared minus y minus k squared over b squared equals 1. Again, order is now important for hyperbolas. Okay, A is first with hyperbolas. Okay, it's going to have the positive variable. Your HK is your vertex. Just like before, the A is the distance from the center, not the vertex, sorry guys. The HK is the center. The A is the distance from the center to the vertices. B, again, distance from center to the co-vertices. And C, distance from center to foci. C squared equals A squared plus B squared for hyperbolas.
Are we gonna get like a sheet?
I think you're gonna get, and our goal today is to like, B squared. Put it together so you know exactly what it looks like. My assumption is it's gonna, every reference sheet you have gotten for your test will be put together into one big rest. So like the trig stuff, the conic stuff, what else do we give you? The series and sequence stuff, like all the stuff you got for your individual tests will be put together. And then these have the asymptotes. So the asymptotes for the horizontal hyperbola is y minus k. Actually, no, it's not. It's y equals k, sorry. Plus and minus. Horizontal is b over a, x minus h. And for vertical, y equals k plus and minus a over b, x minus h. And for these, we plot our center, wherever the center is. We go right and left. We go up and down. We draw the little box. You draw your asymptotes through the corners. If it's vertical, your branches point up and down. If it's horizontal, they'd go right and left. And then again, just like the parabolas and the ellipses, you're going to either get equation and you have to find the graph and the information from it, or you get the information and you have to find the graph. You get the information, you have to find the equation. Now, I know this is a big packet, but like some of these questions are multiple choice. It's one question on the whole page, okay? So don't freak out. It's not terrible. Because this is first for all of you, except for to ever take a final. Finals are longer. They're an hour and 45-minute class time. So you'll have more questions than you would normally have on a test. You have a little bit of a break in between. So you have 2 a day. Have a little bit of a break in between. And then you go to your next class. A and C, every other class period gets review days in which you only go to those 2 class periods. A and C is blended into your last day. So today's obviously regular day. Tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday of this week, and then Tuesday of next week, because there's no school Friday, it's graduation. There's no school Monday, it's Memorial Day. Tuesday of next week is your last full day of school. They say it is a required day, even if you're exempt from A and C. It's a required day. But it is a heavily, they extend A and C, so you have a little bit more time in A and C so that you get that little bit of extra review time. And then Wednesday starts exams. You will only go to AC if you are exempt from both AC. You don't come to school. If you have only one, you only come for when that is. I can post the times. I think it's like 7:56 to 10:20 is the block, and then it's 10:30 to noon. I'll look up those times, but and then so that's what day was that? That's Wednesday is AC exams. Thursday is IJ review. Is lunch review. So you only come if you're taking those exams. You'll go to either DEEF first, and then you'll go to GHHI second. GH or FG. And then the next day is those same class periods, that exam. And then IJ has a review day, and IJ has an exam day. Yeah.
So what if like Thursday this week is your last day of school? Do you have to come next week?
It's a day. It's a required day, but they're not going to come to your house and drag you out by your hair.
So Monday, Tuesday,
Monday, there's no school. Tuesday's the last full day of school, and it is titled the AC review day, but you are going to all of your classes that day. Yeah. So Tuesday of next week is the last regular full day. Yeah. Any other questions? And then should you miss an exam, you have to get it arranged like through administration, but should you miss an exam, the Wednesday of the following week, that last is a makeup day. But if you don't, if you're done, like if you are taking exams, IJ day, which is like Tuesday, that's your last day.
How many questions are
I don't know yet because it's not finalized yet. I'm hoping to know all those things tomorrow. Yeah. They're usually, I would say, real fast. This is your complete the square, okay? So remember, if you're completing the square, it's not in standard form yet. Like in this case, you want to look at your variables. There's only the x squared. There's not a y squared here. So already that tells you it's going to be a parabola, right? And if it's a parabola, you're only going to have to complete the square for the one that's squared. So I would have to complete the square for the x's. Everything else gets bumped to the other side. You have to take the term off the front. Like we remember to complete the square, right? Yes. Fondly. No. Okay. All right.